and welcome back to my channel. It is Saturday morning right now. Just finished my coffee. Don't worry, I did eat something before my coffee. I'm gonna vlog a little bit today and tomorrow. As I vlog today, I want to talk about some of the things that really help me when I'm feeling deeply alone, sad, anxious, etc. Potentially to help you through a time if you are going through it. I would say the last quarter of 2023, it's 2024 now, but essentially like we're at the beginning. I was definitely struggling. I had some personal life things that were stressors that created a lot of anxiety, lots of things going on, but also winter. Winter really hits me when the sun is not out. Oh my gosh, it just depletes my soul. And I think over time, when you are going through personal things, when you are getting a lot of anxiety, when you're feeling alone, when the sun is not out, like it can totally take a toll on you. And that's what it was starting to do for me. My body was responding in not the best way. I feel like I hold a lot of stress in my body and my nervous system. So my body likes to say no a lot of times, and I can hear that, but mainly just my emotions. Like it's very clear to me when I'm going through something based off of my mood. And so I find when I'm realizing like nothing's motivating me, I'm not feeling happy, like I'm feeling sad, that's when I know it's time to stop trying to use things to make myself feel better, which I still do, and we'll talk about that. But when I'm feeling really sad or anxious, or my body's like responding and I can just, you know, like my body's maybe not doing well, whatever, that's when I like to kind of like stop myself in the tracks of life and emotionally release in the form of first accepting. I think when we are feeling alone, when we're feeling anxiety, sad, lost, not in a good mood, and this is like over time, we tend to try to not feel like this, which is great. We want to make ourselves feel better. But sometimes things don't make us feel better. Sometimes journaling, positive affirmations, or hanging out with friends, or watching a motivational YouTube video is just not hitting. And I find when you get to a point where that's not hitting, it's because you just need to accept and release and come to yourself instead of running away. I think we have learned over many years in our lives when we feel sad or we feel negative emotions to run away by doing things like I just said, or worse, doing things to cope, right? Whether that's like you going out and partying, you going back to an ex and like talking to somebody even though it's not necessarily like the best situation. Maybe you're smoking, maybe whatever, you're eating a lot, you're scrolling on TikTok. But of course, those things are not the things that are gonna help us even get out of the situation that we're at. So I wanna talk about a journal entry. I'm not gonna read it because it's like all over the place, but maybe this is something that you can try. And this is something that always makes me feel really good. And I call it emotionally releasing and accepting. There is a licensed social worker on Instagram. Her name is Nicole Sachs. She has a huge podcast, a huge Instagram, all about curing chronic illness. She is somebody that I've learned heavily from, curing my own chronic illness, and how she connects the mind to the body. And she talks about how, you know, your nervous system, when it is really, really stressed, you can have physical ailments, blah, 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 whatever. I'll leave all of her stuff down below. The reason why I'm bringing her up is because she has this journal practice that she calls journal speak. So I kind of do like a form of that, and it's essentially just like writing out all of your emotions, all the things that you might have been suppressing over time. And it's really just speaking from what's actually inside that you have been carrying. So whether that is maybe you're going through a breakup, or you're going through a job loss, or you're going through uncertainty of life and you don't know which path to take, or you're feeling really abandoned by parents, by society, by whatever, you're letting that out. And it's important that you let that out because those thoughts, those feelings, those emotions reside within you, and your body's actually carrying this to the point where sometimes if you don't let these out, then you can have chronic illness in a way too. And if you think about it, we don't actually have a lot of instances where we can really let out what it is that we feel. And I look at this journal practice as different than a normal journal practice that you have that's maybe like gratitude or like positive affirmations, things like that. When I write as if like I need to rip up these pieces of paper and throw them out because like nobody needs to see them. I wouldn't want anyone to see them. And this even goes to like thoughts or feelings that you have towards people, right? Maybe you have a lot of anger, you have a lot of jealousy towards people. Whatever it is, letting it out and writing it out does so much good for your mental health. And one of the things that I was writing right now, I'm in a process of really just accepting the fact that, yeah, maybe my health is not the best right now because my body is really feeling the brunt of my emotions, or maybe I do feel a little bit lost in my life, or I do feel a little bit of anxiety and I've been feeling that, or I do feel alone or sad. I am writing as if it's okay. You know what? I am, and this is what I wrote in my journal. Who am I? I am Alicia, and I am healing. I don't have all the answers. I do feel anxiety. I don't feel my best right now. I feel lonely right now. I feel lost right now. I feel like I'm not having good filming days. I feel not motivated to work. I feel very just uninspired in life. I haven't been having good days. Like, I write this all out. And coming from somebody who definitely used to be way more of a perfectionist than I am now, those perfectionist thoughts sometimes come up when you aren't having good days or good weeks or good months. And it's important to acknowledge that life is not always supposed to be perfect. And I think without even realizing, our perfectionist mindset, the part of us that wants to control everything and have life be perfect because it makes us feel safe, comes online when we are feeling these sad, deep emotions, and it wants to just come into our mind and say, oh my God, look, see, you didn't have a good day, or you didn't have a perfect health today, or it wants to start worrying about your health or worrying about your mental health or worrying about your future because you haven't been having a few good days. But realistically, life is not always gonna be perfect. It's just not. It doesn't need to be. And I think that the reason why I'm saying that and the reason why I focus on this is because when you continue to look at your life like, oh my God, I'm failing, or oh my God, this is not supposed to be, it actually creates more suffering. It creates more stress, right? Because you're telling yourself it's wrong, and it's not wrong. And once you accept the fact that, yeah, this is like how it is right now, I am not feeling the best, or yes, I have been feeling lonely, not only do you tend to feel better, but this actually gives you a lot of space to then be able to look at why it is that I am feeling really alone or anxious right now in my life, or sad. Now, we don't always have to put meaning and always have to put a cause to it, but majority of the time there is causes to why we feel mentally or physically unwell. And this can be a long process of many months of maybe you staying strong or you suppressing emotions, and then you got to a point where, you know, it kind of, your body just went downhill, like mentally or physically. And I think for me, that's kind of what happened. I think the past year, I had so many great things happen, and I learned so much, and I was just experiencing life in new ways. But there was also a lot of different stressors. There was work stressors, and it's not necessarily to deem it good or bad. It's just, there was a lot on my plate. I was trying new things. There's whatever it is, relationship stuff, friend stuff, getting out of my comfort zone, healing my attachment wounds, trauma, like all of this stuff. And I did my best to handle the stressors of life, but it's been very apparent to me that the last quarter of the year, my body said no, my mind said no. And I think for sure what triggered it, outside of any personal things or just the fact that I've been strong for so long, the weather. The season of life, it'll push you over the edge sometimes. And it's not a bad thing. It just means, okay, this is the time to look deeper. Let me see what things I need to work on, what things I need to emotionally release, what lessons do I have to learn about what I went through this year, and just be okay with it and just let it be what it is. And this might take some time for you to do. It may take a lot of reflection. It might take going back to therapy. It might take talking to friends. It might take having a few weeks of you really just letting out all of your negative emotions or thoughts or sadness or anger, frustration or confusion out on paper or out loud, whatever it is. It might take some time, but I think the best thing to do when you feel how you feel right now and you're trying to get out of it, because of course we all want to eventually get out of the dumps, of course. I think if you do that first, it really allows not only for you to get out, but it allows you to actually become a little bit more aligned when it is time for you to get out of this rut, because you've learned those lessons. You've seen where the downfall was essentially of like where you were in your mental health in your life, and you can kind of connect those dots. So when it comes to healing, when you want to heal, essentially you got to do the opposite of what you have been doing. Sometimes it's good to see the things that were happening before you're experiencing what you're experiencing now. Most likely you'll want to do the opposite of what you're doing. So I'll give you an example. I was doing things like throwing myself into more work. I was overthinking a lot. I, let's say, would have like a second cup of coffee in the day to kind of keep me motivated and keep me going, instead of actually slowing down and being like, okay, I'm feeling alone right now. Like maybe doing things like more coffee and more work, or even scrolling on TikTok, doing things that I know that don't really make me feel good in the moment. I can see how those were coping mechanisms. And maybe for you, you were eating a lot. You were sleeping a lot, sleeping in, not taking care of yourself, not cleaning your space, not connecting with friends, scrolling on Instagram. And so for me, I realized, all right, if I was experiencing loneliness and I was sad and whatever, what were healthier behaviors that I probably should have indulged in that I didn't? And it's totally fine. It is what it is. It happened. But what are healthier behaviors that I could have done or that I should have done that I can do now? Because the truth is, after I let out my emotions and I see what was happening, I really need to heal. I need to work on the loneliness that I felt before I even went into this deep, dark hole. And if I look back, yeah, I wasn't connecting with my friends a lot. I was isolating myself a lot. I was diving into my work and not really having boundaries. And I was doing that to address my loneliness. But what I actually need when it comes to feeling alone is the opposite. And what is that? It's connection. Now, you might not be experiencing loneliness, maybe it's something else, but thinking about the thing that you were probably feeling and then using things to cope with that feeling and like suppressing that feeling and running away from that feeling. What are healthier things that you could do to address the feeling that you might have been running away from? So for me, it's very clear what I need to do for myself. I need to be more consistent and connect more with my friends. Not only just let people in, but actually going and seeing them and having plans and just getting out of the house to have boundaries and like shut off times when it comes to work. I need to focus on nervous system regulation because my body is feeling a lot of anxiety, and I want to, you know, have a better practice of bringing my mind to my body and calming myself and just reminding myself over the days and the weeks that I am going to be okay, because sometimes your nervous system gets so overwhelmed to the point where you can't even think good thoughts because you have so much anxiety, which I will talk about what I use for that. Something that I'm going to be diving into is going back to weekly therapy sessions, because I know that that will help be able to talk my feelings. There's just a lot of things that I know that I could support myself by doing that are healthier than the behaviors that I was doing before I got into this rut. So thinking about your situation and potentially the reason as to why you are feeling how you're feeling, and what are healthier ways that you can support yourself, because at the end of the day, you need support. Now, I'm going to talk about a few more things that I have been doing to help get myself out of this rut. Not only support myself, but just things that really just get my mood back up. But I'm gonna go to a spin class with my friend today at 11:15, and it's at Sweat and Tonic in Toronto. I live in Toronto if you guys are new here. And it's a Beyonce spin class, so I already know it's gonna be really fun. And then we're gonna go to brunch, and then gonna come back. I'm just gonna vlog like today and tomorrow. I have a lot of self-care and some like work and stuff that I have to do tomorrow as well, going to the grocery store, things like that. So I'll just bring you guys along and I'll share some of the other things that have really helped me be able to get out of this rut, and hopefully you will as well. Okay, so I need to get some stuff ready in my bag to go to spin, which I'm so excited to go because spin class is not something I usually do, but when I do it, it feels like you're getting out so much energy in your body and the music is like pumping. It's like a freaking nightclub in there. I can't wait. I haven't been in so long. But because I'm gonna go to brunch after, I want to bring some clothes to change in, obviously, because I don't want to go to brunch like sweating. I don't really care what I look like. It's not like that deep. So I think I'm gonna wear these purple shorts from Buff Bunny. I wear basically all of my workout sets from Buff Bunny. I believe I have a code, but I'll have like all my favorite sets linked on my Like to Know It down below if you're interested. Best freaking sportswear. I freaking love it. Sportswear, gym wear, whatever. And then I'm gonna wear this top, this like corset top. I love this top because I can just wear it also just as a regular top instead of just at the gym. So I'm gonna wear this, and then I'm gonna put my White Fox like joggers, which I have a bunch of them, over top, and then sweater jacket because it's freaking freezing. It's like, well, actually it's not that cold. It's -1, but I live in Canada, so for January, -1 is not that cold, which is crazy. The walk is about like 20 minutes, so that's not bad. I love to have a good hot girl walk. And you know what? I love walking to Pilates, spin, anything, because I just feel like it's giving me like a little bit of a warm up and I get like pumped up. Not like I need to get pumped up for spin because it's literally like it does it on its own. And then when I'm out of spin, I think I'll just bring these, my Lululemon leggings, the flare ones. I love these ones because I got a size bigger than I normally am. I believe this is, I don't even know where I can see it. I believe these are 6. I usually can fit a 4, but I wanted leggings that weren't like super snatching the waist sometimes, because sometimes I don't want it to be too tight. So I figured I'd wear these because it'll be comfy when I eat. And then I'll probably just wear this bralette. I usually only ever wear just bralettes or nothing underneath my hoodies. This is from Parade. I love this. And then I'll just wear my hoodie over top of this probably. So I'm gonna change, get everything in my little gym bag here, and also bring some water, get my headphones, bring my whatever, and then we will head to spin. Okay, so actually I'm gonna wear these joggers from White Fox because I have the matching sweater, although I have the matching sweater to the other ones as well. But I feel like this set looks a little bit more put together because it's beige. I don't know, it makes no sense, but whatever. And then obviously I have the shorts and the top. If you guys can see, this is my second closet in my office, and essentially all of these are White Fox hoodies. I'm clearly obsessed. I would like to get some more. I'm gonna probably wait though until the summertime when I should shop, because I don't really like shopping too much in the winter time because realistically all I'm wearing are these. Anyways, I'm gonna wear this hoodie. It says Sports Academy, White Fox Sports Academy. And of course I just broke this freaking thing, my bad. I actually really like these hangers though, the felt hangers, so that nothing slips. I will have them linked on my Amazon, and I promise you I've never broken one of these. This is like the first time. Like they're not cheap and they're not crappy. All I know is I cannot wait for when it's like springtime again. Well, I guess probably summer, but spring, where I can just walk to spin not wearing all of these layers and it not be freezing out. Oh my God, I literally can't wait. So this is the fit. I feel like I look a little bit more put together, and I'll just have my jacket over this. And of course I'm bringing my water. This is not sponsored at all, but I did work with Bottle in the fall time. I freaking love their water bottles. It has a straw area obviously, but you can also like put it up that way, which I never really do, but you could if you wanted to chug your water. But I just love how it has a handle. I can just like go on my hot girl walks, although I'm putting this in my bag. You can also twist it and put in like vitamins or tea bags or whatever. Now, this water filtration system is from Santivia. I think that's how you say it, Santivia. And I've been wanting this water filter for so long. This filters out, actually hold on, let me just fill up this. This filters out fluoride from water. You put the water in here and then it goes down and then it filters through here, like takes out the fluoride, whatever. But also, if you can see, there's mineral rocks in here, which add back minerals into your water. This is like the best tasting water that I've ever tried, honestly. I'll have the link, and I believe I have a 10% code or some type of code, but I would suggest if you're looking for a water filtration system, I would look into this. They also have like the smaller ones that you can put in the fridge, but the smaller ones don't have the rocks to be able to put into it. And I personally like my water more at room temperature, not ice cold. So that's why I was like even more wanting this. Now, obviously you could just like add ice if you wanted. Who wants cold water? I'm gonna grab my headphones. I wanted the AirPod Maxes, but I just could not fathom spending $1,000 on them because I live in Canada and Canadian, they're around like 700 and something, basically 800. But then like with taxes and stuff, they come out to being like 900. So I opted to get the Skull Candy ones, which these in Canadian are like less than $150. I think they were only like $100 or something. I'll have them linked on my Like to Know It. They're great. They absolutely do the job. I've also had these headphones in the smaller ones for many years, like when I was in high school. This is why I went with this brand, because I used to have the small ones when I would sit on the bus in high school, and it was like the best sound. So anyways, just figured that I would show you guys that because I'm obviously gonna be listening to music as I walk. Also, a quick update. I just texted my friend saying that I was about to leave because it takes around 20 minutes and it's 10:40. And I thought the class was at 11:15, but she told me it's at 11:50. So I'm actually not gonna leave yet. So I'm just gonna do a quick email and then we will go. All right, we are now ready to go and I'm not gonna be too early. I, as you can see, am wearing my White Fox hoodie. This jacket is from Aritzia. It's a super puff, but it is like a corduroy material. I freaking love this jacket. This jacket is everything. I'm so happy I got it. Also, it has this pocket in here that I just put all my cards in, and I never have to really walk around with a bag on my hot girl walks, as long as I don't obviously need anything. So yeah, we're gonna go. I'm excited. I need to get out of the place. I have just been sending emails. Literally since I got this rug, this is the only place that I do any of my work. It's actually crazy. And then obviously here, I record the podcast here, but I don't tend to sit on that chair, which it's beautiful and I love it, but it's really for the podcast. This right now is my holy grail. Also, here is all of my books. My book came in, The Ultimate Glow Up Guide. Look at how stunning this book is. And by the way, I sometimes forget to say, this book is also a journal guide, so you can actually write in the book. But how stunning is this? I cannot wait. You can get my book for pre-order right now. It is releasing January 30th. And if you do pre-order, you will get a free journal guide. The link is in my bio. Oh my gosh, stunning. Oh my gosh, who is that? That is me. If you want to read the back of the book, then feel free, but I need to go. So like, you can just pause this. Anyways, let's go to spin, and I'm gonna listen to my house music playlist. My Spotify playlist will be linked down below. I swear to God, this playlist picked me up so much in the last few days, because obviously listening to like upbeat music is gonna get you in a good mood, but especially this just brings me back to last year, like springtime. It wasn't even summer yet that I created this playlist, and 582 of you guys really like this, so obviously it's good. It just brings me back to when I was like, spring is coming, summer is coming, like the sun's coming out more. This has just got me going. So anyways, I'm gonna listen to this. Also, I freaking absolutely love Tate McRae, so sometimes what I do is I just listen to like all of her music. Her new album is fire. I absolutely love it. I like more than just those main songs, but this is what I'm gonna listen to on my walk. And as you can see, more playlists here. I have so many. Like, if you're a hood girl, you got your hood. 152 of you are hood girls. Love that for you guys. We are toxic. Coastal cowgirl, 67 of you guys. I don't promote this one that much, but if you guys like country music, whatever. Anyways, let's go to spin. It is much later. It is 6:47. I went to spin. It was so fun. I need to go more, especially in the winter. I feel those type of classes just pick you up and give you the energy that you need. I honestly don't love doing spin for anything to do with any like fitness goals because I don't tend to want to stress out my body. Like I wouldn't be able to do it every day and like stress out my body because it is kind of like high stress. It's like HIIT workout, but it's such a good sweat and the music obviously just gets you going to the point where you don't feel like you're even doing a workout, but it's so freaking hard. So definitely want to do more of those spin classes, and maybe this is just a sign for you. Try your best to go sign up for a spin class. I know that some people don't have money to do that, but I just paid a drop-in class. I think it was like $27, which mind you, like totally could be a lot for you, but I think if you did that like once a month or like twice a month, I feel like if you do a little bit of budgeting and maybe cut back on some coffees or maybe subscriptions for the month, you probably could find $30 to go to a drop-in spin class in your city or your town or wherever. I would highly suggest if you can. But honestly, group fitness classes in general, they're really nice. I personally don't like it in terms of like training, but when it comes to connection, it's so great. And I think that that's something that really helps me when I am feeling really alone or even lots of anxiety, things like that. I'm not necessarily addressing any sort of mental health issues when I go to classes like that, but I'm indirectly helping my mental health in a way. And then me and my friend Niti, we went to this place called Fran's, which was basically like a breakfast diner, but obviously we went at like 1 o'clock, but we just got breakfast. It was really good. Pancakes, bacon, sausage, toast, eggs, and iced coffee. And then we just chatted for damn near like 3 hours. And then we quickly walked around the mall and I got a ring, which I will show you real quick. This is the ring that I ended up getting. I actually had the exact same ring, but I've lost it. Although I know it's somewhere in my apartment, I just cannot find it. And since I was in the store, I figured I would just get it. It was on sale and then it was 20% off the sale. So it's like, whatever, it adjusts, it's really cute. It's from Pilgrim and they actually invited me to their store one time in the summertime and they gave me this, but also a few other things. So yeah, I don't know, I just figured I would go back, so it's really cute. And then I came back, obviously just had a shower, and honestly, I'm very tired. So what I'm gonna do is I actually want to sit on my computer for a little bit. I just have it here because I'm just gonna chill in my room. It actually is snowing outside for the first time in a very, I think we've had maybe one snowfall for the entire winter season so far, which is crazy because usually we have more snow by now in Canada. But it's a snowy night, very cold, and I'm just gonna chill inside. And like I said, what I wanna do is I wanna come up with a list of brands that I really wanna work with in the new year because I'm having my management meeting for the new year this week coming up. And if you guys don't know what that is, I have a talent management. So a lot of big creators, not everyone, but a lot of big creators, they are usually signed with an agency, and this agency basically just negotiates brand deals on behalf of the content creator, but also they just connect the content creator with brands on their roster, or they have obviously lots of connections. So that is definitely worth it for content creators who tend to have like bigger audiences, bigger reach, things like that. Obviously they get a percent, but it just helps content creators in many aspects get connected to brands, which maybe it's hard to get connected to brands if you didn't have a connection. but also to negotiate deals and to go over contracts that are really lengthy, but also just to take all of that work, emailing back and forth and reaching out and finding brand work, because brand work is a part of the job for sure. It definitely helps pay the bills off of our plate so we can continue to create content and do what it is that maybe we really want to do, even outside of brands. I love working with brands. I love sharing any products or like, you know, like I said, the bottle, like all of these cool brands that I get to work with in any sort of capacity. I do work with brands sometimes on Instagram, sometimes on TikTok, all across my platforms, but also it helps me as a creator obviously be able to sustain this job, because yes, you make money off of ad revenue on YouTube, but some people don't even have YouTube channels, so they mainly rely on brand deals. But in general, it just helps creators. I'm sure you guys have heard that a million thousand times. And it's just really cool to work with some amazing brands like I used to look up to. Like I worked with Buff Bunny in the springtime of last year, and I used to watch Heidi on YouTube, and I used to follow her fitness and lifestyle videos. Like it's just such a full circle moment. So anyways, I'm having a meeting with them in the new year. So we're obviously gonna talk about some of the brands maybe that I wanna work with, and you know, pitch some ideas of how I could create cool collaborations, because obviously the brands wanna work with creators that are aligned as well. They don't just like pick any freaking content creator off the side of the road that does not align to what their values or their views or use their products, at least the good brands. I find some brands, of course, will reach out to just anyone and will have anyone, you know, make content for them for like 3 seconds, but like, whatever, tangent over. I'm gonna make a list and kind of do that, and then I might just watch a show and chill. But before I go to sleep, I just wanted to say, when you are struggling with your mental health, as much as sometimes you might have a lot of resistance to it, connecting with people is so important, and I honestly think it's at the core of why so many of us actually struggle. And you might not be able to see the correlation right at the beginning, but if you really do some deep work, a lot of the reasons why we feel alone and we struggle with anxiety and whatever is because we're not supported, we don't feel safe. There's a lot of stressors in life. We try and control a lot of things. We do a lot of things ourselves. We keep a lot of our emotions in. And the opposite of that is to share our emotions, is to rely on people, is to have conversations to spark new thoughts and feeling like you're safe in the world. Like all of that stuff, like it really does come back to a lot of our relational issues. And I just think the times that I feel like this the most, I know it's so important to dive into conversations. And of course, just the conversations that I was having with my friend, it wasn't about anything. Actually, we did talk about some of the things that I was going through, but it was less to do about discussing any sort of mental health things and just like getting out in life, like listening to someone else, listening to their problems if they have them, or their celebrations if they have them. Just talking to people is so therapeutic, and also just getting out of the place. Again, going to a spin class, I didn't talk to any of the people that were in the spin class, but you felt like you were in a community. I just think that bring back community, like bring back human connection. And that's just something that I for sure will be focusing even more into this new year. I definitely tried to focus on that a lot the year that I moved to Toronto. That was one of the things that was important to me. But now that I'm like going into year 2, I definitely want to continue to build healthy, sustainable friendships. And I also just want to say it takes time. This is something that my friend and I were talking about. The friendships you think you see online or in movies, they either aren't actually the full picture, or it's taken years. It takes you working on your own self to be able to actually be able to have really deep connections with other people. And sometimes I feel like we just like long for those deep connections, but at the same time we like subconsciously will push people away, or we get too triggered, or whatever it is. Everyone has their own story. But I just know when I do connect with people, it is so healing. And as much as, yes, you want to do a lot of self-work and self-love and healing on your own, that's definitely my vibe. A lot of healing actually can only occur. And yes, I know that that's like a big word. Only can occur in relation to others. And quite frankly, a lot of our relational issues, our developmental traumas based off of relational issues can really actually only be fully healed. And fully is I'm using fully as a loose term, healed through learning how to properly be in healthier connections with other people. We didn't get it in the past, and now actually what we're really trying to do is learn how to reverse that. And working on yourself, doing that inner work for sure can help you be able to have healthier relationships. But at the end of the day, it's like you gotta go out in the world. You gotta go do these things. You gotta be vulnerable. You gotta, you know, let it out, whatever it is. So anyways, that's just something that I think is really important if you are really struggling in your life. Do your best. I know it's not easy, especially when you are going through it, to have to connect with other people. But don't look at it as it needs to be anything other than what it is, which is just you sparking a little bit of life force energy in your life by you having eye contact with someone, talking to a friend. Even today, actually, there's a girl on my floor, and I've seen her multiple times, and we've had like small interactions, and we'll just say hi. But when I was walking outside, she had pulled up her car, which there's no cars there, and there's not even a lot of people. The way that there's like multiple entrances and how you can leave my building, and I don't even tend to go this way, but I went this way and she was there, and of course, like I said hi to her, but I was like, no, let me stop and get her name. Let's actually have a conversation really quickly here, because why is it that I don't know my neighbor's name? Why is it that I go to the gym and I see these people every single day, and it's not about being best friends or like having a deep connection, but like, why can't I say hi? Like, why can't I know your name? And I feel like we've just lost that. I mean, I used to never be like that. I would go to the gym all the time and like not really say hi to people just because I was like afraid. I didn't want to like get rejected or like whatever it was. And there's even some guys in my gym that I was just like said something to them or said hi or like made eye contact, and now I go to the gym and like I see some of the guys there. And I just think that even those small little interactions make me feel like I'm a part of something, even though it has nothing to do with like being close friends with these people. And that's something that I definitely took wisdom from a lot of my older friends, which is also another good tip, is always have friends who are older than you, always have friends that are younger than you, and always have friends that are the same age. I know it can be hard and difficult, but I don't know, I just think that you get so much value and wisdom out of every type of person, and different races and different vibes. You know, of course you want to find your tribe, but I no longer look down or try to act super different against people who might not be living the same type of lifestyle as me, because I think there's value in it. A lot of friends that I have that might either not live the same lifestyle or might not think the same way or just have a different path. But when I was on my self-development journey, for sure at the beginning, when I would have party friends or have people who are clearly not in the same vibe, I kind of just thought like I should just cut them out completely. And there's definitely people that I did because clearly they just weren't healthy. I don't mean those people, but I think it's okay to have diversity, and it's okay to like, and you learn a lot from people who you might not even think that you would learn anything from. And I even have that mindset going into therapy, especially being somebody who in the therapeutic realm, been there, learned a lot, very aware. Not saying like I'm a therapist, because I'm not, I didn't go to school for it, but I'm very aware of like what the hell is going on. I kind of go into these situations as, even if I do know everything, let's just see what I can learn. Even if I know why I'm here and maybe what the outcome will be, I try not to like do that. So anyways, that's helped me. So tomorrow we need to do self-care. Like I need to deep condition the heck out of my hair because I haven't done that in a while. I need to go to the grocery store. I need to meal prep. I need to do a lot of things. And I want to talk about some of the things that have helped me really be able to like spark some dopamine in my body to be able to get out of a rut and like look and see the light. And that has to do with more like planning and projects and things like that. So I'm gonna go to sleep. Well, not go to sleep, but I'm gonna do this and then go to sleep, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sunday. As you saw, I had some breakfast. I made fried plantains, which I have not made in so long. I used to eat them all the time with scrambled eggs and avocado. That's what I usually would have it with, but I didn't have any avocado, but I had it with scrambled eggs and turkey bacon. So freaking fire. And then I went on a walk. It snowed, like I was saying, it was snowing. I think I said that last night, but there's so much snow on the ground. I think this is like technically like the first snowfall. I know it snowed before, like this isn't the first time, but in the city, this is the first time where you actually can see snow on the ground. So that was nice. And then I walked around the water, which was so peaceful. I love going to the water for my mental health, but even when my mental health is great, I just freaking love going near the water and just like lakeshore vibes. So I did that. And then I stopped at the grocery store on the way home. So we're gonna do a quick grocery haul. And my coffee's in my French press right now because I have not actually drank any coffee, which I am shocked that it's almost 12 o'clock and I haven't had any coffee yet. My head is hurting a little bit because I'm low-key addicted to caffeine, I should say. So I didn't get too many things because I had quite a bit of things already, but I got grass-fed milk, 3%. I like to add that into my coffees. I got some orange juice with some pulp in it. I like to add a little bit of orange juice in my smoothies, depending on what I'm making, but it tastes fire. I don't know what else to say. I got some eggs because I always eat eggs. I got some Ziploc bags because I needed them. I got some cucumber, tomatoes, feta cheese, tomatoes because I like to make a Greek salad. I got 2 steaks, grass-fed steak and ground beef because I want to make meatballs. I've been making meatballs lately and making pasta, which is so good and it's so easy. Just like get ground beef, put whatever seasoning you want in it. Like I don't follow any recipes like ever because I just I can't be bothered with it. I'll just add some seasoning, roll them up in a ball, or balls I should say, put them on a pan and put them in the oven for 15 minutes at 375 and they're golden. And then I just make noodles and I add, what I do is I will saute up any vegetables that I have. So usually it's like mushrooms and spinach, but you could do any sort of vegetables that you like. And then add the sauce on the stove, like saute it all up and then add the meatballs in it and then you put it on the noodles. So good, does not take long at all. So I definitely wanna make that. I don't know if I'm gonna make that tonight. I pulled out chicken because I kind of want to make chicken so that I can have for quesadillas because I haven't had the quesadillas in a while. So I just stocked up on lots of protein, lots of versatile foods because I am somebody who doesn't like to spend a lot of time cooking, but I want to prioritize protein. I want to prioritize meals that fuel me. I want to eat. So I always just make sure to have protein on hand. And then like, you know, some vegetables that I can saute up or some rice or tortillas, eggs, turkey bacon, all these things. And I just kind of rotate through them. I like to make a big Greek salad as well. And I can just have on the side of steak. I can have it on the side of really anything that I want. And also stuff for my smoothies because smoothies really help me out. Usually like post-workout, I'll have a smoothie with protein in it. And then I add my athletic greens. I'll add some plain Greek yogurt, just like lots of protein in it, and obviously it fuels me. But obviously I'm much more alive now because I just had my coffee, which is so good. And as I was drinking my coffee, I actually just posted on the podcast Instagram. If you guys don't know, I have a podcast called the Glow Up Secrets Podcast. It's available on YouTube, but you can also listen to it on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. And I have an Instagram for the podcast, and I wanted to start, or like I want to start sharing some of the resources that I use on my self-development journey, whether that's like books, podcast episodes that I've been listening to, playlists, like anything outside of just promoting my podcast, because like I feel like I could just utilize it more. And I feel like I use a lot of things over the years and I changed a lot of different types of wellness practices and self-development stuff. So figured like, why not just have it in a hub? So I went on Canva. I guess I'll show you it just like this. I went on Canva and I just got a Pinterest photo and then I added some text saying weekly roundup, podcast for your hot girl walk. And then I screenshotted mine because I actually do listen to my episodes and I think that they're good. So like, obviously I'm gonna put it in there. And then I have one from the Skinny Confidential, and then Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation, and the School of Embodied Arts, which actually, and this is actually what I'm gonna do right now, is I invested in a course with the School of Embodied Arts. This is something that I was thinking of doing for a really long time, and it'll take around 6 to 12 months to do. If you're interested in it, I can link it down below, but this is just something like that I've been wanting to do in terms of learning more about how to coach from a more embodied, feminine way. I am a one-on-one coach, but also you go through the practices yourself and you learn a lot about feminine embodiment. And somebody who has gone to somatic therapy a lot, it really does connect, like feminine embodiment and nervous system regulation, somatic work, body work, things like that. I'm just really interested in all that kind of stuff. So I've actually been wanting to take this just more for myself, but it does train you to use some of these practices in your one-on-one coaching if you are a coach, or, you know, this is probably even helpful for like doctors or psychotherapists, things like that. So at the end I will be certified so I can use some of their practices within my coaching. But like I said, it was kind of more for me. So they actually have a podcast though, and it's free, so it's kind of cool. So if you want to listen to that podcast, just in general, if you're not interested in like doing that kind of stuff, like investing in a course, because it is expensive. It is expensive, but she has really good episodes regarding like understanding embodiment and feminine flow, living in a more cyclical life, things like that, which I feel like a lot of you guys are interested in. But that's actually something I wanted to talk about when it comes to mental health. I think something that really helps me get out of ruts a lot is starting something new and refreshing, and something that potentially my soul is calling for. I think like starting a new project, creating a new goals list, coming up with a new mood board for like how you're gonna exit this freaking rut of yours. Even listening to new podcasts, new voices, just changing the energy in which you live and work in, or what you're putting in your mind, or, you know, things that you've been thinking about can really help. So when you are really down and out, not only are there reasons why you're down and out, I've already talked about a lot of that in this video already, on a, I guess, neurochemistry level. That's not the right word, but whatever. Neurologically, you have different chemicals that get released, and one of those chemicals is dopamine. Dopamine's great. Dopamine is the thing that makes us feel really excited and motivated in life. You can get healthy forms of dopamine kicks, or you can get not so healthy. Healthy being, let's say, working towards a goal, or celebrating with friends or family. Maybe you're going to a concert, you're just enjoying the things that you really love in your life. There's many different other things as well. Or you can get dopamine kicks from forms of things that are not necessarily the best for you. So eating a bunch of highly processed foods in the moment will, you know, bring up that dopamine kick. Drugs, even alcohol, but then you dip down low. Scrolling on TikTok can really ramp up the dopamine, but then of course you're just getting depleted. Like, there's kind of like good and bad ways in which that you can really increase the dopamine, and also like different foods and stuff can help. But in general, when you are feeling really depressed, a lot of the times, and science will show, like you tend to have lower levels of dopamine. And usually when you're depressed or you're not feeling the best, that's where a lot of people will go to addictions, or they'll go to the X, or they'll go to the scrolling. Like, you'll do the things that you really do. You're actually on a neurological level, you're kind of searching for those dopamine kicks. It's actually like, it makes sense why you would do that. So because I know that, and because I know I don't want to, you know, rely on processed foods or texting an ex or whatever it is, you guys know I always use that example. I want to increase the level of dopamine that I have in healthier ways. And one of those ways is to set goals. So a lot of people think that they will be happy when they achieve a goal or they hit a goal, which partly yes, like when you hit a goal you really wanted, like it definitely does raise those levels of dopamine in the body, but it doesn't actually really sustain you, which is totally fine. Like, you can just like hit a goal and that's fine, and like you can celebrate whatever. But the mere fact of you actually thinking about a goal, you set a goal for yourself, and you actually taking little steps throughout your days, weeks, months to bring you closer to the goal, just you witnessing like I guess subconsciously or consciously witnessing the fact that you're working towards something, it actually releases a lot of dopamine. And if you think about anxiety, there's a lot of reasons why people have anxiety, but sometimes anxiety is brought on by people not having any sort of direction in life. No purpose, no passion. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to go. Anxiety about everything. There's no structure. There's no anything. And when you have a goal, that creates less anxiety because it's like, okay, well, I'm going in this certain direction. But on top of going in this certain direction, you're actually releasing some dopamine. I say all that to say, if you are somebody who's been in a rut, maybe potentially try to set some new goals for yourself, work on a new project, think about who you want to be in the next few years, and, you know, create some sort of plan. And for me, something that's definitely helped is like, even on the days that I have been feeling down, because specifically, I've invested in this course and I know that this is a big thing I'm taking on this year. I feel kind of at ease because it's like, okay, well, I'm anchored into something that I know that I'm gonna be learning more and like growing myself in certain aspects of life. But even smaller things like, you know, tomorrow I get to look forward to a new podcast that I haven't listened to, right? Or tomorrow I get to go see a friend, and even though today is like not the best, I'm still like looking forward to something. Like there's something that you are looking forward to. So I think it's really good around these times, especially because usually the things that got you to where you were, and maybe the things that made you feel happy once before won't necessarily always get you out or always make you feel the exact same. So it's good to change things up. And I mean, I think as a creative, as somebody who does this full-time, runs a podcast, YouTube, always thinking about ideas, like all of this brand work, creative stuff, sometimes doing the same thing over and over and over again, it gets tiring, it gets boring. And sometimes you have to do things over and over again. Like consistency is great, but there is always different seasons of my life where I know it's time that I have to do a little bit of a rebrand, like new goals, like new visions for myself and my life, whether that is my work or outside of my work. So I don't know, that's just something that really helps me. That's something that I'm gonna be working on right now. I'm gonna do a module of that. And then I just wanna talk quickly about nervous system regulation and persisting. Just got out of the shower. There is nothing better than an everything shower, truly. And if you feel like crap right now, please go take a shower. I swear it changes so much for you. Anyways, I'm gonna do skincare and I'll quickly tell you what I did with my hair. And then we'll just kiki and chat because clearly that's what this vlog is about, just chatting. I'm going in with my Dr. Dennis Gross chemical exfoliant. This helps with exfoliating deeper under the layers of skin. It's not a physical exfoliant, and I find that this helps with pigmentation. And as you probably can see, I had a breakout here probably like a few days ago, and then I just popped this one, which is, it's actually quite rare for me to get. Well, lately I don't really get that many breakouts, but anyways, I think it had to do with the fact that I was dermaplaning my face actually, and sometimes my skin is really sensitive. So anyways, not a big deal. I want to use these to help speed up scarring process, I guess. My face scars really, really easily. If you guys want a video of my skin health journey, I will link it down below because I did a whole video on that and how I cleared my skin naturally without any like medication or like products and stuff, and really had to do a lot with reducing stress and working on my gut health and lots of self-acceptance, lots of things. So anyways, I can link it down below. Once I wipe my face with this, I just wait like 2 minutes and then I go in with the other one. So I'm actually not done with my hair routine yet. I usually do this once a week. This has transformed my hair. So what I do is, and I always change up the products, but these are the ones that I'm currently using. I went into the shower and I sectioned out my hair. My hair was quite knotty because it was like in the poof and my hair is really curly. So I sectioned all of my hair. I used conditioner to section it. And then I went in with my Briogeo shampoo exfoliant. This is amazing. Not only does it smell so good, but it's like this charcoal shampoo, but it really lathers the scalp. And actually, sorry, I went in with my rosemary oil by Tony Rose first, and I just used a little bit of oil and just like massage it on my scalp, and then I went in with this because that's what you're supposed to do. Rosemary oil can help with taking out some of the buildup in your scalp. And honestly, I hadn't shampooed my hair for probably like 2 weeks. Usually I do it like once a week, but I have very curly hair anyways. My hair never gets greasy, and I don't tend to have a lot of product buildup. I just do it when I need to, but usually it's like once a week. And then I went in with my, right now I'm using Coco and Eve Like a Virgin hair mask, deep conditioning hair mask. So that's what's still in my hair right now. I'm gonna do my skincare. And then what I'd like to do is go under a hot cap. I have this little hot cap that I'll show you after. And I sit under it for 30, 40 minutes, maybe to an hour, depending on what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some planning, so I'll just like sit under it. And then I go back into the shower. Well, I turn my head over the tub. I don't actually go back in. And I rinse it all out, and then I just like rake through my product. And then I put my hair back on top of my head. Yeah, like I removed my hair and then I put it back on my scalp. Yeah, that's what I did. And then I will make sure it's dry. And then actually what I do, this is really for like curly hair, I guess. I sleep with the bonnet. So I'll put the bonnet over top of my hair even when it's like damp. And then I just leave it all day into the night, wake up the next day. My hair is so defined, like my curls. So that's what I do. I'm going in with my second Dennis Gross pad thing. So something that I actually forgot to mention is I was on Pinterest. I'm trying to find where I saved it. I was on Pinterest scrolling last night, and I found this quote that I figured it was kind of relevant to the topic of this video. And this girl said, during your transformation, you might feel like everything is falling apart, but in reality, everything is coming together for your highest good. You're being pushed to evolve and to get out of your comfort zone so that you can live and experience your true greatness. Welcome change. And I think, like, I've said this already, but we're so resistant to having things throw us off kilter in our lives, which is so understandable because we don't want pain, we don't want to deal with shitty emotions, like we don't want whatever. But realistically, like, you deciding to no longer resist what is going on in your current season of life is going to allow you to evolve and change, and better and bigger things are going to happen for you. It just doesn't feel like that in the moment, but that's just like how I truly believe life is. And I found another Pinterest quote, and it says, the more energy you put into your thoughts, the stronger that they become. And this is, I think, very relevant when it comes to trying to suppress emotions or push them away or resist the fact that you're going through something right now. Like, you're mad because you're feeling anxiety, you're mad because you're sad, you're angry, frustrated, annoyed that life is not going how you think it should be. And I actually think, like, the more you resist, meaning the more you say to yourself, this is not okay, I should be feeling anything other than what I'm feeling now, is kind of what this quote is saying. Like, the more energy you put to saying, no, this is wrong, I shouldn't be feeling this way, I shouldn't be sad, it's almost like the stronger everything becomes. And I was listening to a podcast this morning on my walk, and Nicole Sachs, she has a podcast called The Cure for Chronic Pain. The girl was talking about when it came to journal speak. She talks a lot about acceptance, right? She talks to a lot of people with chronic pain, and a lot of people just like want to get out of pain. But realistically, it's like the thing that actually allows you to heal is accepting the fact, like radically accepting the fact that yes, my life is not perfect right now. My health is not perfect right now. And on top of that, why do we think that we are going to be human beings and move through life and everything be perfect? Perfect relationships, perfect finances, perfect chapters in life, perfect health all the time, when we are flawed human beings. We have to deal with the realities of life. We have so many seasons and chapters. Like, when I say that, it's so easily understandable, but then sometimes we, you know, don't actually accept it. But I definitely know the thing that helps me heal the most, the things that help me get through hard times the most, whether that's like physical pain, mental health, like anything, whatever it is just surrendering and accepting, yep, this is it. This is it. And I even think this in a sense of self-love. I'm going in with my Fresh Beauty Kombucha Essence. By the way, I'll have all my hair, skin, everything linked down below. I think about this in terms of self-love. When you first hear about self-love, sometimes people will tell you, like, write out affirmations and say like how you love every part of your body or you love every part of yourself. And I found it was kind of hard to do that because there was parts of me that I didn't necessarily like. Like, I didn't like the fact that my body looked a certain way and I wasn't in good health and whatever. But I learned through my process, it's not necessarily about you have to like gaslight yourself into loving the fact that you have poor health, or you don't have the body yet, or you don't have the life yet. It's just accepting that this is where your body is at, accepting the reality of your finances, accepting the reality of your relationships and everything. Like, and actually I wrote this down because she was also, again, she was talking about acceptance, and she said acceptance is not agreement. And what she says acceptance really is, and this is what I personally believe too, is this need to stop wanting or needing something to be anything other than what it is. Anything other than what it is. And I think when you think about this needing something to be something that it's not, it's like, I don't know if this is the right word, analogy or whatever it is, or metaphor or something, where you have like a circle, right? Like a little hole, and you have like a square peg and you're trying to put it in here and it won't go. Like, I feel like that is how I feel when I think or say these things out loud, of like needing something to be something that it's not. Like, let's stop the resistance, because the more that you're hitting this square peg through this circle, it's like, it's creating more pain, it's chipping, it's breaking, it's whatever. Let it be what it needs. And I find when you let things go and you let things be what they are, naturally healing occurs, whether that be the hole starts to heal because you're not fucking driving it through anymore, or the square finds somewhere around its life where it can actually fit into something that's actually a square, like, you know what I mean? So anyways, I really think that like we are taught in life to, you know, be successful and be healthy and be this pinnacle of everything, and it's something we all want to strive for, but the reality of life is, it's just, life is not always going to be perfect, and it doesn't need to be. And I think that we do always create way more suffering when we look at things as anything other than what it is. And I think this really helped me when I lost my dad at 16 and my mom went through addictions. I was really resisting all of that, my whole life circumstance, right? Like, which, understandable, I was a victim in many aspects if you look at my story. Like so many of us, we've all been victims in some sort of sense. And you know, you have to go through a huge healing process with that, and you're allowed to be sad about it. You're allowed to mourn that loss. You're allowed to grieve. You're allowed to whatever. But I think that's something that really helped me excel and got me to where I'm at right now in my life, is eventually, and this took time, eventually coming to the realization that yes, my dad passed away. Yes, I'm not gonna have him at my wedding. Yes, this is what life was. Yes, I was unfortunately very much so in fight or flight around him when he was alive. And yes, that created a lot of attachment issues for me and a lot of stress and cortisol, which led me to a lot of chronic illness. I'm not blaming him entirely, but my life circumstance. Yes, I lost my mom during the years, she's still alive, but like I lost the relationship that I could have had with her when I was really like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, all of my 20s. Yes. And I look back and I see how much stress I was under, to the point where I did have so many chronic illnesses and just an unhealthy life for a lot of reasons, but mainly one of them being like that relationship that was with my mom that I didn't realize. And this is totally fine because I didn't know to accept this. I didn't know what was going on. Like healing's messy, but I look back and I'm like, yeah, there were so many times where I was actually just resisting the fact that this was reality and I couldn't let go. And for good reason. I wanted to fight. I wanted to fight for my mom. I wanted to fight for the fact that like she should have been there for me. But in the process of me resisting what was going on, I stressed myself out more. I got very angry. I got very remorseful. I got a lot of anger, really, towards somebody that wasn't showing up the way that they should have. And although, yes, for sure, anger was warranted, but over the course of so many years of continuously holding on to that anger, it actually hurt me in the process. And I got really sick and unhealthy for many reasons. But that's something that you learn and you go through. But I think the best thing in terms of like parental stuff that I actually mastered, it took me a while, but I mastered, was accepting the fact that, yeah, this is how it is. And once I was able to accept, I was able to not only heal, but I was able to look at life being like, okay, well, I have a lot more control over my life than I think, though. And I actually can create a life where there's not this much pain. And how do I want my life to look even though, yes, I have to deal with the fact that maybe I've lost parents in certain aspects and this, that, how do I want to move forward in my life? How do I want to, when I have children, parent? What is the type of person that I want to be? What can I learn from my parents? And how can I also not internalize anything that they did as them not loving me or them not caring about me? Because the truth is, my dad loved me, my dad cared about me, my mom loves me to this day. She will ride or die for me. But those actions, unfortunately, were from parts of them that they couldn't control, parts of them that were operating out of their own trauma, their own wounds. When you're an addict, you're running away from something very, very deep. And once I was able to have that awareness, I was like, you know what? This is no longer my problem, and what I'm not gonna do is screw up my life, my health, my mental health moving forward because other people were traumatized. And that's really generational trauma, right? You want to break that. And so when I have my own life things, my own relational things, finance things, health things, everything in my own personal life that really doesn't have anything to do with my parents, I kind of try to use that same process, you know, of like, let me stop resisting, let me just accept this for what it is. Let me see how I can learn, how I can evolve. Let me see how these lessons are gonna drive me into a different area of my life where I actually know that I'm meant to be, or the universe wants me to be, or God wants me to be, or whatever. And listen and understand that, like, fuck, like, whose life is perfect? Whose life is perfect? Nobody's life is perfect. I will tell you that for free, okay? So anyways, that's just like my rant about acceptance. Accept. It's hard to accept. It's scary to accept. But something I've learned is actually what's more scary is to continue to resist, because when you resist, you create more suffering. And I've been through a lot of pain and suffering in my life, and I just know that it doesn't get me where I want to go. So anyways, that was kind of deep. I put on hyaluronic acid on my face, and then I went in with my Fresh Beauty oil infused serum. I don't know why it's so hard for me to say that, because I say it basically in every video. I'm going in with my deep hydration cream by Fresh as well. Oh my gosh, I'm like almost done this. So I want to plan my week because I feel like that really helps me feel like I have my life together a little bit. And I guess one thing I want to say is, even when I go through hard times in my life, I still really make sure to do as much as I can in terms of like my healthy habits and my planning, my work. And it can totally be really hard and easy for you to just like, screw it, I'm not gonna go to the gym, or I'm not gonna have my everything shower, or there's no point, or like, I'm not gonna plan my week. And although you most likely won't be perfect with these things because you just like won't be feeling it, do your best to do things anyways. Like, even if you're not the most motivated for the week to come, still plan out your week and get your stuff done, because these are the things that are gonna keep you at bay, at least until you can kind of get out. And I just know from personal experience, the more I let go of every practice, every healthy thing, I'm not feeding myself correctly, I'm indulging in bad habits, it's only gonna dig me in a deeper hole in which I already know that I'm gonna have to pull myself out of anyways. So in my mind, it's like, go cry at the gym if you have to. Go cry in the shower as you're doing your hair mask if you need to. Obviously you don't want to push yourself, but I think you guys know what I mean. So I am going to do some planning. Oh yeah, I should show you, if you guys are not new to my channel, you'll know. This is the heat cap that I use. I put it on my head. It looks ridiculous, but it works. And I'm pretty sure I got it off Amazon, so I'll have it linked down below. So let me do this, and then we will chat in a second. we are done the everything shower routine, or my hair routine, I should say. As you saw, I washed out the deep conditioner, and then I put in Carol's Daughter spray leave-in conditioner, which smells so good. And then I tried their curl cream as well, which smelled so good, and it really worked in my hair. And then I followed up with some mousse by Function of Beauty. I like to put a little bit of mousse to like lock in everything in my hair. I'm only gonna keep this on for like not long, and then I'm gonna put my bonnet on because I don't want this to like take all of the moisture out of my hair. I got so much planning done. I got back to so many random emails that were just like sitting on my shoulders. Like I didn't want to bring that energy, not energy, they weren't bad emails, but bring all these little tasks that I'm not gonna be motivated to do tomorrow into the week tomorrow. So I just got them done. And then I have my oven on right now, as you can see. I'm gonna put some chicken in, and I'll probably just make quesadillas, maybe do some dishes. I'm not gonna pre-cook too much because there's not much to really pre-make. I don't think I mentioned this, but something that's really helped me when I do have a lot of anxiety, or I feel really sad, alone, lost, if I have any sort of pain, anything, I like to listen to sleep meditations. This is something that I've been doing every single night. And the ones that I love are from the Mindful Movement. I'll have their YouTube down below. They have sleep meditations for literally anything. I just think when you aren't going through the best time in your life, usually your nervous system, depending on how you respond to stress, it could be in fight or flight, so just very, very stressed. Or your nervous system could be very shut down. So doing breath work, meditation, those type of things really help me. They also help me fall asleep at night. And I find when you're not going through the best times in your life, sleep is so important. The same way with eating, the same way with moving your body. So I just find that that helps me, along with moving your body. You know, if you're not motivated to do a bunch of workouts, like this week actually, I did not go to my actual gym in my condo the whole entire week, which normally I would at least go twice. I did go to my Pilates classes. I went to 2. I did spin and I did a lot of walking, but I just needed a break. Like I really did. So this week I'll be getting back to all my workouts, but I still made sure that I was moving throughout the week. So although I didn't actually do a leg day, which honestly my body probably needed a break, because sometimes it's good to have deload weeks or just like rest weeks, but regardless, I don't feel like I'm off track because I did other things. And in general, I just know that there's no point on looking at my week and being like, oh my God, like I fell off my goals. Like I actually didn't. My body needed it. I needed a lot of rest. I made sure to prioritize seeing my friends and doing the work that I needed to do, like mental health wise, this week before anything else. And I just didn't have the time. But it definitely is important to move. And the last thing is to understand that there's gonna be a level of you having to persist through hard times. I think sometimes we think like, when we go on a healing journey, it just goes like this until you kind of see the light and then you get out of your little rut. And unfortunately, it doesn't really go like that. Like some days you might be feeling great and then you might have that dip down. Don't look at that dip down as you are failing, you're falling back, or you're not progressing. On a micro level, if you were to look at a graph of how healing works, or like, let's say like this way, or not like this way, whatever, it's not gonna be the right way anyways. If you look at a graph of, let's say, your own healing journey, you might see like, oh, I'm doing good, and then you drop down, and then you go great, and then you go down, and you might just be getting so annoyed that you keep going down. But if you actually zoom out and you look at a macro scale of your healing journey, the whole entire time you're actually going up, and that's actually how healing works. So understand when you are maybe not having the most perfect day, when you're like trying to get out of a rut or something that's really happened like right now in your life, use the things that I've told you in this episode. I'm so used to like talking on the podcast, in this YouTube video, and the things that really work for you in your mental health or your physical health or whatever. And understand that you're not progressing if you wake up tomorrow and you still have anxiety, or you still have pain, or you still feel lost. You're not. But you're gonna have to be the one to tell yourself that in those moments. Like there's been so many days where I still feel like, but I remind myself, no, I'm persisting through this. I'm getting through this. I'm still healing. And that also helps me not continue to fall deeper into a rut as well. So there's always just gonna be a level of persisting, I think, with anything in your life. Like when you're trying to even like manifest things in your life, you're not gonna get results right away sometimes. Sometimes it happens, like you really speak something into the universe or you like ask God or whatever and like it kind of happens. But you have to technically like be this change that you wanna see reflected in your life, but you have to change first. You have to change the thoughts that you're thinking, the way that you're perceiving things, and you gotta give the universe, God, whatever, a little bit of time to speed up and match the energy that you're in. Don't expect when you decide to have positive thoughts that everything in your life is just gonna change. You're gonna get a bunch of money, bunch of opportunities, whatever. Don't be like, oh, well, I changed my mindset and it's not working. No, it is working. It's just you need to persist through things sometimes. So yeah, I hope this episode, oh my gosh, I hope this video helped you. And just know that this too shall pass. I'm feeling so much better even throughout this weekend, but in general in my life, like I feel like very excited for life. I have a lot of great things coming to me, and I just know that this is a process of life in which I'm learning a lot about myself, a lot about my wounds, my shit that I have in my life, this, that, and it just is making me a better person. It really is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Next video, I don't know what next video is gonna be, but it won't be about mental health probably, but I always talk about mindset anyways. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.